Today I'm doing a video that is probably a little bit simple, but it's been something I've wanted to do for a really long time now, and it's basically talking about how I straighten my hair. For a lot of you guys, you'd be just like, why would you need to teach us that? That is so obvious and straightforward. And yeah, for most of you guys it probably is, because you guys know your stuff when it comes to beauty. But there are a lot of people out there, namely a lot of my friends offline, who struggle with this part, and I've always wanted to I've tried to explain it to them in real life, and it's always kind of been a bit of a, so I thought I would just do a video so I could link them this video and so they could see it, and I thought, why not make one? It's cool. Plus the other benefit is I get to show you a lot of the products that I've been using that I really love. I really hope you guys find this video, if not useful, interesting to watch, and let's get right into it. So this is my hair, pretty much my unstraightened, untreated hair. I don't think it's terrible, to be honest. Like, I know it's a little bit unruly, it's a bit fluffy, but if I was to just put like a simple product through it or something, brush it through, I think it's okay. And honestly, on its own, I think it's okay too. But I've just been straightening my hair since I entered university, so over 10 years now. I've been straightening my hair for a very long time, and so I'm just really used to seeing myself with straight hair. And I just like straight hair because of how easy it is to manage. I just feel like it's a lot easier to do stuff with. Yeah, so this is what I have to work with, which is not too bad. The first thing I would have done already, this is pretty newly washed. Shampoo, conditioner, all that stuff. If you want to go full ham, then you can put like a mask treatment. I find that, especially after I've washed my hair and I've done all my conditioning and everything, if I put any of those sort of oil serums in my hair, then it's going to make my hair really nice and smooth and soft and luxurious when I do straighten my hair. But I didn't do that last time because I don't know why. I must have forgot or been lazy. Probably a mixture of the two. So in order to counteract that, I have other products I can use to help add some silkiness to my hair. One of the first things that I will usually do is brush out my hair, because it just seems like the normal thing to do. So when my hair was much longer, I would start at the ends. So I'd wait for it to be fully dry. And once I'd start at the ends, and then I'd sort of build up to my roots so I don't pull my hair too much. To be honest, I'm treating my hair a lot nicer now on camera, because you guys can see it, than I would in real life. In real life, I'm a lot more rough with my hair, but usually doing this process will help my hair, will help kind of pull out any knots and just make it a lot easier to straighten later. I do find that if I was to at least blow dry my hair, I didn't blow dry my hair this time, that's why it's a lot more fluffy or curly than usual, but if I do blow dry my hair and I try and blow dry it straight, this job would be a lot easier because my hair would already be semi-straight, but I didn't do it. So I feel like my hair now looks really fluffy, but at least I can run my fingers through it without getting caught, so there's no knots in it, so that's good. So the first product I'll use is this one by Goldwell, Sleek Perfection. I've had this product for so long, like not this particular bottle, but I've been using this product for so many years now. I love it. The funny thing is that I would have never discovered this product had the PR company for Goldwell not sent me the original bottle, because I didn't even know something like this existed. So usually what I'll do, and I love the smell of this, it kind of smells sweet, and I love sweet things, so what I'll do is I'll spray this in my hair. So what this actually does for your hair is that it helps, I think it has like silicone in it or something, so if you're not into that, maybe don't use this. Maybe, I'm not sure. What I find this product helps do is it does make straightening easier, your hair straightens faster, and it makes my hair smoother. So if I haven't put in any serum prior, if I use this instead, then it kind of compensates for that. But if I use them combined, then I'm in for some seriously silky hair. So I like to spray quite a bit everywhere. Because my hair is on the thicker side, I just find that I get the most benefit of just spraying as much. I'd probably put like 10 spritz in or something like that. I don't know if that's how much you're supposed to use, but especially because my hair is not that long, so I probably don't need that much, but I find that works for me. This part of the tutorial is, to me, the most simplest part, obviously, but it's also one of the most important parts. So the straightener I use is not actually a GHT, it is this one. It is the Steam Pod by L'Oreal, and it is seriously my favorite straightener in the entire world. I feel like it does an amazing job and it just works so well. Granted, I will say this now, this only works if you have probably long hair. So once my hair started hitting around this point is when I switched over to this. When my hair was shorter, this doesn't work because you can see the clamps are really big. So if you have, I remember when I had my hair down to here, this didn't work at all. I could barely get it around any hair. So I used my GHD for that, which I still love. I obviously still have my GHD because it works so well. But when you have longer hair and your hair is thicker, it's so time consuming to use a GHD. So I found that this was really good. Prior to using this, I did have that GHD where it was like really thick plates. That worked really well. But the reason I love this one so much is this feature right here. Yeah, I was pointing to the wrong side. As you can see, it has a bunch of teeth. So it's kind of like an inbuilt comb into the hair straightener, which I love because basically it just combs your hair as it's straightening it. So you don't have any like knots, twists, or turns, whereas most straighteners won't have the teeth at all. So you end up, if you haven't combed your hair properly through, and I've seen people where they'd have a comb their hair and then have the straightener follow after. That's awesome. That's a lot of work. I'm not prepared to do a lot of work. So I feel like this just helps cut down that time for me. But yeah, the combing makes such a big difference. The other part that I really like is that it releases steam. So there's actually a little pot that comes with this. It's all kind of attached together, and this little pot actually contains water, which you have to put in. I need to fill it up probably every 3 to 4 uses. I fill it back up to the top, and it releases steam as it straightens your hair. Personally for me, I find like that's a little less damaging. I find that my hair in the end is much more silkier and smoother because of it. I don't know whether in the long term it causes less damage to the hair, because honestly I feel like any heat treatment is going to damage your hair to some degree, but I do love that it does feel nicer at the end. So all those things combined just make this like the perfect hair straightener for somebody with like medium to long hair personally. So what I like to do is I like to turn this on first with this button right here. I just hold it down and it allows you to set temperature. So I'll turn that down first, and then you can see the light comes on. It tells you which degrees it's set on, so it's 170 degrees. Because my hair is on the thicker side, I will go right up to 210, which is the highest temperature. And it's blinking because it hasn't set the plates to be that temperature yet. So I put that aside so that it will heat up. And in the meantime, what I'll do is separate my hair. Now this is so important. I feel like most people who watch beauty channels probably already know this, so this is super self-explanatory. But guys, if you're my friend in real life and you've asked me how I've straightened my hair, this is the step you need to listen to. It's really important to straighten your hair in sections, and depending on how thick your hair, I feel like if your hair is really thick, then you need to use smaller sections. If it's thin, then maybe slightly bigger sections. But straightening them in sections is the most important part, because if you try and just straighten chunks of it, you're not gonna get, like, not enough heat's going to apply to all your hairs, and that's why your hair still kind of crinkles at the end. Specifically, I know that I had 2 friends who loved straightening their hair, but they could never get it dead straight, and they couldn't understand why. I think that's the reason, guys. You need to separate it. So I usually separate mine into 3 parts. I have the top part, and I just clip them up like so. I try not to get hair right across my forehead. And then I'll do another separation just above my hair, like just above my ears. I'll separate it there, like that. This is gonna be tricky because I usually do this in my bathroom, where I have mirrors in the front and on the side, so I can see what I'm doing. Now I'm using a computer monitor to help figure out what I'm doing. So then I'll pin that up there. So now I've just got this last section down here, and because I don't have a mirror, I'm gonna have to pull it forward instead. So I usually get a section around this size. I think it's a good enough size, and I'll straighten that. So what I will try and do, this feels really unnatural because I'm not in the bathroom doing it. I'll pull it straight, and I'll get it as close to my hairlines, and then I'll just pull slowly. That's the other thing you need to do. Pull slowly, don't go fast. Take your time. And there. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I usually only need to go down once because I'm just taking a little portion of hair, and if you go slow, then there's enough heat, enough consistent heat applied to all parts of the hair, the follicles and stuff like that, So that's pretty much it. It really just comes down to separating your hair and going slow. And the more you do this, the faster it gets. I can probably straighten all my hair in 10 minutes or under now. And because I don't wash my hair every day, that's only like 30 minutes a week if I wash it 3 times a week. Yeah, it's not that much. Not at all. The back is always the hardest part, which is why I prefer doing it in my bathroom, because then I can actually see. And sometimes, if I don't get it right the first time, I'll go back over it later. Once my hair's cooled down, I'll probably go over it a second time if I have to, but I'm pretty lucky and I don't usually need to go over multiple times. You can see, I don't know if you can see all that steam, but that's just the steam being released from the hair straightener. If you can, like, there you go, all those little dots, that's where the steam comes out. So that's what it's pretty much doing. I think I missed a little bit here. So yeah, that's the bottom section done, and it's all, I think the back's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead, do most of my head, and when I get to the top layer, I'll be right back. Took down the top section of my hair, then I realized no, I said I'd check back again. So I've done all this part of my hair, which is kind of like what I consider the bottom section of my hair. So one thing I like to do, because one problem you have when you do layering is that when you release the top layers, they can blend in with the bottom layers, and then you end up re-straightening your bottom layers, or you don't know what to straighten. So when I've done the 2 sections down here, I'll get like an elastic band, and very loosely I'll just tie a really low ponytail, super low, because I don't want to put any kinks into it, but I want to keep it separated so that when I do let go of the top section, I doesn't like interfere with any of the rest of my hair. So I just want to make sure I get my part right. I don't think I have a natural part. I've just been parting my hair like that since I was little. And then what I'll do is, because I've got the part on this side of my head, so that means that this side I have a lot more hair. So what I usually do is, if I was to pretend I had a second part here, go up just like that, and I'm just going to twirl this around. Basically what I'm trying to do is just pin it up, just separate it so that I don't have to deal with too much hair. So then I've got 2 equal sides, and this is going to make it so much easier to straighten. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and keep straightening this. The other thing I might have forgotten to mention before, but you would have seen me doing it, is that I still keep my comb around, because especially when I'm busy trying to get the parts right, and sometimes it's a little bit tangled, I like to just go through and just give it a quick brush through just to make sure it's smooth. Because the worst part, so even though this has a comb on it, which is great, the most annoying part is that it won't get rid of knots. Like, you have to properly comb your hair to get rid of the knots. And if you put this through and there's a knot in your hair, it's just kind of like stuck. Like, it's just stuck, and you have to like take it out and then redo it again. So it just doesn't work well. So combing is very important to make sure you get everything tangle free. Cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and straighten this, and I'll be back when I do this part. So I think my elastic band just fell through. So before I do this, what I like to do is go back and just comb through my hair and try and find any kinks or places that I might need to go over, just because the more hair I work up on my head, the harder it is to find the rest of my hair, because it's a lot of layers. So I think I'm okay. I can't see any like obvious knots in my hair, so I'm just gonna pull that back. I don't really need to tie it up now because I've just got a little bit left to go. And then I'm going to take down this part, and I've got my hair straightened on my lap, so it's really hot. So I'll just comb this section out. It's not that big, so I don't really need to separate it too much. I'll usually straighten this in 3 sections, so I'll do this one first. And then got this, and then separate that into 2 sections, and then the last section, which is the closest to my face, I like to work away from my face first. And then just this last bit. There we go. And I notice I have a few like little bumps back here, so I might just go over that in a second. So that's my hair pretty much straightened. If you want like a super slick down sort of hair, then I would recommend using an oil serum. So the ones that you would use probably before when your hair is wet, just to get it nice and silky. You can get a little bit of that. I know there's a good one from Dove that I used. My hairdresser uses a particular one that I really like, and I can't remember the name now. I think it's from L'Oreal. I can't remember the name. If I remember the name, I'll link it down below for you guys, but I love, she just takes a little bit, puts it through her fingers, and then she'll just brush it through my hair, and see all those like little sticky uppy bits, it just flattens that out completely. So you could do that. Personally, I don't do that when I'm at home, just like this. And the only reason I don't is that it means that I have to wash my hair sooner. And I'm someone who doesn't like to wash my hair too often because I just find it too much of a hassle. I'll probably wash like 2 to 3 times a week. If I slick my hair down, then I feel like I need to wash it either the next day or after one night or something like that. So I generally don't do it. But one thing I do like to do after, so I'm pretty happy with my hair as it is, but if you want to be a little bit smoother, a little bit more shine, then I recommend using something like this. I use this is the Olberry Soft Dry Conditioner Spray. My hairdresser actually recommended this to me. I've been going to the same hairdresser for like, do you guys remember when I had like really long hair and then suddenly my hair was really short, and then ever since I got my hair cut I've just been going to the same one, and I love her. Her name is Mai. She is from My Son Sumiki. She is amazing and I go to her all the time. So I like using this because it just helps really soften the ends of my hair. This is not hairspray, so I'm not like, yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's just how I straighten my hair. I do that 2 to 3 times a week, give or take a couple products here and there. The dramas of filming in a small enclosed room. Usually I do this in my bathroom, so I feel like there's a fan, the doors are open, I breathe, like place to breathe. It's a little harder in here. But that's pretty much all there is to it. So I know most of you may not have found this very useful because you'd be like, yeah, duh, that's how everyone straightens their hair. But for the friends of mine offline who have always commented about how do you straighten your hair, I hope you guys have found this useful. And anyone else who maybe didn't know how to really break it down, I hope you guys have found it useful. Thank you so much for watching. This is Celina reporting from my room. Back to you, internet.